Good morning. Happy Easter. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. My name is Kate. I'm a St. Mark's parishioner. I'm a mama of two boys, Neil and James. So maybe you will meet them someday when we're all back together. I am so honored that I get to talk to you guys today on Easter because if you think about your favorite holiday, mine tends to be Christmas, but maybe it's Halloween, maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's Thanksgiving, who knows? But Easter is actually the most important holidays that we celebrate in our church. And part of that is because it's the day when Jesus, all of the things that Jesus had taught us, there's finally a sort of a really positive end to it. It's sort of, he's been saying all of these things, and then we get basically the proof that all of these things are true on this day on Easter. So we're going to start with a reading today. The reading is from the Gospel of Mark. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint Jesus. And very early on, the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there is the place they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he has been raised. He is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you." So they went out and fled from the tomb. For terror and amazement had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. So the way the story ends, these women are Jesus's friends are afraid. Their friend had died just 3 days prior, and suddenly his body's missing. And this story makes me think of a lot of things. One of the things it makes me think of is sometimes how hard it is to believe in things. If you think about it, Jesus had been telling all of his friends, all of the people that believed in him, he'd been telling them all along, "I'm going to be put to death. I'm going to be crucified. And then 3 days later, I will rise from the dead." That would be a pretty hard thing to believe. But they had seen Jesus do so much good in their lives that some of course hoped it wouldn't be true. But some people did believe. And here is the day that the things he said were going to happen actually happened. He has risen from the dead. So even though that was a hard thing to probably believe in, here it is, it's happening. And I think about that in my own life. I think about, boy, are there things that's hard for me to believe in? And I think especially this last year, I think about how hard it is to believe that we're ever going to get a normal life back. It's been a weird year, hasn't it? Having to take school from home, like you may have, having parents working from home. Maybe parents have lost jobs. It's been a very weird year. You're not supposed to see people except for outside. This virus that's come has done a lot of it's made our lives different. And sometimes I think it's very hard for me to believe. It's very hard for me to believe that we're ever going to get to have our lives back. And sure enough, things are starting to change. And believing in something that you don't have proof for, it's called faith. I don't have proof that life's going to return to normal for any of us, but I believe it will. I have faith that it will. And that's another thing I want to talk about this reading is a miracle, right? The miracle that happened. Jesus died and he rose from the dead 3 days later. That never happened before him and it never has happened since. And that's how special that is. And I think about that miracle and I think there's so many other little miracles in our lives too. I think about, I grew up near Chicago. It gets really cold in the winter there. And every winter, the birds would go away and the squirrels would all hide and the grass would all die under the snow. And I would think, gosh, it's never, ever going to get warm again. We're never going to see flowers again or a blue sky. And sure enough, every spring, right around Easter time, sure enough, the flowers grow again. The sun comes out again. It's a miracle. And I feel like when you have faith, you are ready to receive those miracles. So keep believing, and then you'll be able to keep receiving. That's what I like to think about today on Easter. And I know it's been a hard year for everybody. Nobody's had an easy year, right? This has been a weird year, starting since last Easter. I want to be in church with all of you right now, but I'm going to keep believing, and I'm going to keep receiving all of this good news that we're getting. And I think we're all going to find that the miracle of getting back to our lives the way they were is going to come true for us. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Let's have one little prayer before I go. Lord, we thank you for the miracle of your Son and for the many miracles you have placed in our lives. We will keep practicing our faith. We believe. Have a wonderful, wonderful Easter. Much love to you all.